exceptionals passed by. She was awestruck by how similar they looked to the friends and family she grew up with back in the settlement. If she wasn't able to see their violet eyes and the boys with the shaved heads, she might have mistaken them for ordinaries. Every now and then they would pass a guard on patrol, and Allie's insides would turn. These were the exceptionals she had grown to fear.
This way.
Luke took hold of her hand and pulled her in the opposite direction the crowd was moving. They finally burst out onto a side street that was less crowded, but he didn't let go of her hand. The houses were growing smaller and closer together, many having no space between them at all. Other buildings were scattered throughout the houses, with signs hanging outside that Allie couldn't read. One building had a stand of fruit sitting outside the door, and she wondered if they were being sold to the exceptionals and ordinaries in the city. After another half-mile of weaving through the streets, they came upon an open area filled with benches and tables. A few small trees grew in the grassy area in the middle, but Allie was immediately taken with the large tree directly in the middle.
What is it?
Luke came up beside her. Allie pulled back her sleeve and held out her arm. It's an oak tree, almost identical to my marking.
Whoa,
he said, running his finger over her mark. She shivered and pulled her arm back, confused by the feeling that ran through her when Luke had touched her. She cleared her throat, trying to disguise her uncertainty. The branches even grow in similar directions, Allie pointed out. She didn't mention that she was also thinking about how quickly she could climb the tree, partially because it was off topic, but mainly because he might think her insane for even considering it. If he had any idea that she was undergoing some strange inner battle, he didn't let on. Rather, he took a seat on one of the benches beneath the tree. She did the same, sliding to the opposite end of the bench and clasping her hands together in her lap.
You must have a lot of questions.
Luke peered over at her. Allie was still having trouble figuring him out. His confidence and arrogance when they first met had scared her at first, but had also given her a fierce attraction toward him. But without his friends or parents around, he was kind and gentle. He seemed interested in helping her learn about the city and making her feel comfortable in his home. There was something attractive about this Luke as well. Allie had to believe that maybe she just found him appealing as a whole, no matter what state his personality happened to be in. He was fairly handsome. Yes, she answered quickly. Her pause in conversation had evoked a reaction from him, and he had begun to slide toward her on the bench. Allie had been so anxious for answers all day, and now she felt speechless when she was finally getting her chance. Her first instinct was to ask a question that would help her understand what Sabine had been about to tell her earlier, but she feared Luke wouldn't answer. Plus, if he knew Sabine was talking about it, he might order her not to give Allie further information. She turned to face him. The only exceptionals I have ever known are the guards, so you can understand why I might be a little amazed at this whole other world that exists inside the city. Even though I know that not every exceptional is a guard, it was hard to picture everyone within the walls in any other way. What was growing up here like? Luke's smile faded slightly at her question.
In turn, we aren't told much about ordinaries and their lives outside of the city. We only know what we use them for. Ordinaries aren't spoken of much during everyday activities.